This is just a review on AdminLTE 3, which is a an admin theme, free admin theme. So currently I've installed it and I'm using it on one of my projects. So the current version the current version of AdminLTE that I'm currently using is AdminLTE dash 3.2. Okay, so as you can see, this is the dashboard. Okay, so there's new orders, a bounce rate, and so on. So there's a lot of tools actually that we can use here when we're downloading free templates, especially when talking about AdminLTE. Now, for me, AdminLTE is actually one of the best dashboard theme that is really provided for developers. These are all of the sample content that we can use. So by default, we have here dashboard version 1. If you wanted to use dashboard version 2, so you have this one, which is as you can see, it has a dark background. And of course, you have dashboard version 2, which is light background. Now, one of the good things about AdminLTE is that it's completely packed with features such as graphs and so on. There's no need for you to download additional resources if you're planning to build an application. So there's also, let's say for example, there's also a way for you to customize your AdminLTE by you have here a slider. So you can also use this slider if you wanted to add something, which is actually quite nice. You can also make it full screen. Okay, you just press escape, then it'll be reverting it back. So you have here notifications here on top, search. Now I also like the search bar here, which is it's clickable, and all to do is just click X and it will just feed back to its original content or original hidden state. Okay, so after dashboard, we also have here widgets. So these are all of the different widgets that we can found on our AdminLTE 3. So we have info in widgets, we have here BG and so on. You also use cards. I'm actually fond of using cards, especially when I'm trying to develop applications. Okay. One of the applications that we previously did, or that I previously did, was a school application wherein I use I think it was AdminLTE 2. So there's no reason for me to use other admin theme. I'll just be sticking with AdminLTE. Okay, so these are cards. Okay, as you can see, you have here we can expand, can also collapse. Okay, expand by clicking the plus sign if you wanted it to be hidden. Okay, you can also try to maximize. And this one is also quite nice. So you have here direct chat. So if you wanted to have somewhat of a direct chat, you can use this one, this particular version of a card, okay, or widget, okay. So also try to hide, okay, what was actually said. You can also, as you can see, there's also made up of different colors. Now each color actually has its own code, which I'll be showing you later. So you have here also social widgets. Also for this one, if you wanted to have a picture, if you wanted to develop a social media website, very much similar to Facebook, you can actually use AdminLTE. So you can post your comments here and press enter, it will be displayed here. Also same with this one. Okay, so now after widgets, we have here layout options or top navigation. So we have here, this is our top navigation. You just like to go back. Navigation and sidebar. Okay. Then we have box. Okay, as you can see, fixed sidebar. Okay. Actually, when we talk about fixed sidebar, if the content will be if the content will stretch, we'll still have a fixed sidebar. So the only thing that we can do to make the sidebar move is we have this uh, vertical scroll bar. Then we have here fixed sidebar plus custom. Okay. Fixed nav bar. Okay, so as you can see, you have your fixed nav bar. The navigation bar here on top is fixed. Fixed footer. Okay, so you have your fixed footer. Collapse sidebar. It's also a nice feature if you wanted it to be minimal. Okay. Then for charts, you also have here the different charts. So you have your chart.js. Now, as what I've said earlier, you can use AdminLTE by when trying to develop an application. Even if you will be using charts, you don't need to import or try to search for different charts or different tools on the internet, because everything is already found on or everything comes when you download AdminLTE. Okay, so this is it. This is your charts. Okay, very much also the same as what we have here on our first page. We have here also our chart. Okay, we have here visitors. If you wanted to use this one, sales graph, and so on. Then of course we have our UI elements. For our UI elements, we have here under general, we have here the different themes, alerts, and so on. We also have the tabs, progress bar. I'm also fond of using this one, progress bar, especially if I'm going to use Ajax. I would normally use progress bar. You can also use a vertical. So you have two types of progress bar. Either you use it the horizontal progress bar or the vertical progress bar. You also have your accordion. So what is accordion basically? So accordion, something like that. Okay. You have your also carousel, typography, okay, text, and so on. So icons. Now for icons, you can use these three options: font awesome, iconic icons, or ion icons. Now in my case, I downloaded icons from Bootstrap, and I tried to use that one. Okay, so I didn't use the one that came along with AdminLTE. You also have here buttons. So these are all the different buttons that we could use. Okay. What else? We have here sliders. You can also then modals and alerts. If we're going to click here, I have your modal, warning modal, toast, which is actually this one, the launch error toast. Okay. Then nav bar and tabs. These are actually your nav bar and tabs. So these are your tabs. Okay, these are also all your navigation bar. You can also select your own preferred navigation bar. So by default, this is your navigation bar. Okay, so you have here a tab with overlay for loading, vertical tabs. Okay, custom tabs. Then timeline. These are all this is also our timeline. Now we can use timeline if, let's say, for example, you wanted to develop something which needs to be in a specific order, then you can use timeline. Ribbons, these are actually all your ribbons. Then for forms, okay, for general elements, you only have this one, email, form control. So there's three types, three sizes, by the way. You have your form control, you have default and small. So I use small because I wanted it to be not too big. So I find the default input quite big, so I would normally use this one. You can also try to specify the different width. So very much as if you're familiar with Bootstrap, by the way, it won't be that hard for you to adjust with AdminLTE. Advanced elements, okay. These are all your advanced elements. Editors. Of course, you also need to use some editor, especially if we're going to develop something like a messaging system. So, uh, AdminLTE comes with a text editor. So this one is SummerNote. I've been using SummerNote for quite some time now, since I find SummerNote quite simple. If you wanted to just download SummerNote, I can give you a link. So I have here SummerNote. Try to search for SummerNote. Okay, this one. This is very simple WYSIWYG editor. So this is actually a good, or a very good lightweight WYSIWYG editor that can be used with Bootstrap. So as you can see, even in AdminLTE, they use SummerNote. Validation. Okay, I'm going to click. Okay, will be highlighted in red. Then of course we also have our tables. For tables, you have this one. Data tables. Difference between plain table or simple tables and data tables, that data table actually comes with pagination, which is this one. Now, one of the issues, by the way, that I find with data tables is that it will, let's say for example, you have around 2,000 records. So it will basically load everything first, then it will actually display it on the table. Now, one issue that I find it hard with data table is that data tables tend to be quite slow. Okay, that's why I would normally use simple tables. Okay, JS grid. Then you also have your calendar. So this is your calendar. Gallery. Okay, you also have your zoom. Okay, what else? Kanban board. Now, Kanban board I think is a new feature in AdminLTE, if I'm not mistaken. So, let's say you can, this is your Kanban board. Okay. You cannot actually drag, but that's your Kanban board. Then of course you have your mailbox. These are all your mailbox. Compose. Again, they're still using SummerNote. If you wanted to create something of a messaging system, then you can use this one. Okay, read. Want it to be a little bit more detailed. Then for pages, no. In AdminLTE, by the way, much like in any other application, is that admin application, is that you can actually find certain examples, so such as invoice and so on. So profile. Okay, so let's say for example you don't know where to start. I would suggest you try to look at pages and try to study this one. Okay, for extras, if you wanted to create, let's say for example, okay, where's extras? Wanted to create, for example, I cannot seem to do open extras. Okay, let's say for example you wanted to create something of a what do you call this, login page, then you can use extras. Okay, so here I should be clicking this one. So if you're login and register, so login version 1, this is it. Okay, this is your login page. You can start working on this one, then move your way up to the much more complicated pages. Okay, so lock screen and so on. Then documentation. Okay, then of course you also have your multi-level examples, and last you have your labels and so on. Now, I would suggest that you also try to try other admin themes. You can just search for it on the internet, but I would also try to I would suggest that you try other admin theme. But in my case, since I've already tried a lot of admin themes, I'll be sticking with AdminLTE because all of the tools that I basically needed can be found on AdminLTE. So if you wanted to try it out, maybe you can try bare bones Bootstrap only. So you can get the feel out of it. Then try to look for similarities on other admin themes. Okay. So this is just a very simple review on AdminLTE 3, which is one of the tools that I would normally use if I'm developing an application. I use themes so that I no longer need to code everything from the ground up, especially when it comes to CSS uh, and adding lots of images. Although I can be quite heavy at times, but I would still use this one because it's a lot. It's much more presentable than just trying to code it from the ground up. The ground up. Okay.